Hey, this is Zoe,
And Kim.
and this is 1970s punk rock. So, punk rock in the 1970s, and even still today, is a movement where young people rejected the conventional cultural and political beliefs. And punk was more than just a type of music, it was more of a lifestyle, and they wanted to go against conformity in the mainstream society.
So, the music part of punk rock, the first UK band was the Sex Pistols, and music was popular in the UK before the US. When it came to the US, the first US punk band was the Ramones. Punks believed that music should be simple, as anyone can make music, and they considered it do-it-yourself music. It had four main parts: drums, bass, guitar, and voice.
And the Ramones were actually, I'm not sure if they were the first punk rock band. They were the first official punk rock band, but a band called the Velvet Underground was around before them, but they were the first original punk rock band in the US. So, punk songs were passionate, short, loud, and just overall simple. So, in addition to their own music, punk musicians did covers of rock songs, and when they were starting to learn music, they listened to those songs and practiced making covers of those songs so that they could learn how the instruments work and how to train your vocals. But they didn't like the mainstream rock idea. They thought that stadium concerts separated the musicians from the listeners, and some of the common subjects in punk music were war, social inequality, anger, uniformity, relationships, boredom. And punk music was underground most of the time, and they spread news about bands through secret magazines called fanzines. And this picture is of a fanzine that was popular in the United Kingdom called Sniff and Glue, which was actually based off of a song by the Ramones called Now I Want to Sniff Some Glue. And it was basically about, like, they were so bored that they would just sit around and sniff glue. I mean, they didn't actually do that, but... and then in the United States, there was a punk fanzine called Punk.
So, the clothing of the punks, some of the main aspects were dark martens, which is pictured here. It's a type of shoe. And also, there were biker jackets, and hair was in mohawks or spiked hair of bright color. And their style was very different than mainstream society, as was their belief, and it sometimes caused others to verbally or physically harass them.
So many punks heavily used drugs. For example, the Sex Pistols bassist, named Sid Vicious, that was his stage name, he died from a drug overdose. But, however, some punk musicians rejected the use of drugs. And then clubs in Washington, D.C. began using X's to identify underage attendants so that they couldn't be sold alcohol or drugs. And young people supported this and turned it into, like, a symbol for them. And here's just a picture of some of the people with the X's. So, these two pictures are both modern pictures. I think the one on the left, I'm pretty sure it was taken at a gay pride parade somewhere. I'm not sure about the second one. And it sort of shows how you shouldn't judge people because of what they look like. Because, I mean, these kids look really happy they get to touch the spikes on the biker jacket and the hair, and you shouldn't judge people for what they look like. But, however, unfortunately, many people in the punk subculture faced, and still do face, judgment and prejudice from others. And then here are some songs if you would like to look them up. They're very good, and we can listen to a couple in class when me and Kim are presenting our thing, or talking about our thing. Yeah, so... Anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, that's about it.
Okay, Zoe,
And Kim.
signing off.